Welcome to part 2. In this video, I'm gonna carry on from where I left off, in the first part. If you are new to our channel, please click the subscribe button, and be sure to also hit the bell button, as to be notified as soon as we upload new content. If you haven't watched the first video, please go on over, and watch that video first, before carrying on with this one. The link is below. If you have, then let's continue. The aim of our higher self is to get us to the exact same point of consciousness that it is currently sitting within. When we achieve enlightenment and enter the sixth dimension, our current individual consciousness completes itself by merging with our higher self. In order for this statement to make sense, our current consciousness would firstly have to be an incomplete form of existence, in order to justify why enlightenment allows us to transcend our current system, and cease the need for us to be here. We are a fragment of our higher self. This explains how, and why, we as human beings experience some form of death. Fragments experience life, and death, every single day, where it is truly impossible for an original soul to die. We are conscious fragments, interacting with our environment down here, and when our fragment dies, we collate all of our experiences back with our higher self. I have just stumbled across what may be one of the most controversial elements of human society. Laws were introduced based upon the premise that man does not have the necessary maturity and social function to maintain the equilibrium of existence within our current form of consciousness. We have strict laws on Earth that completely condemns the murder and manslaughter, or any other form of unnatural or premeditated death. If you were to contemplate what our higher self may feel when one of its fragments dies, it would be like asking Gaia if she cries when a tree in one of her forests dies. Our higher self incarnates thousands of lifetimes just in the third dimension alone, not even mentioning the second dimension of plants, animals, insects, where tens or even hundreds of thousands of lives were justified for the sole purpose of dimensional evolvement for that of a single soul. How many billions of lives were used to effectively create our current reality is beyond belief. If we lived in an enlightened community, laws would become meaningless. Not because we as enlightened individuals could transcend them, but because there would truly be no authority to enforce a law that doesn't exist beyond the veils of human perception. Please refer to the following graph that depicts the process of achieving realization to unify with our higher self, to achieve enlightenment. Once our higher self allows us to achieve enlightenment, we take aboard all of the memories and experiences of our past lives, in that of a singular consciousness, and then move forwards with the weight of thousands of lifetimes, creating the foundation of our spiritual maturity. Our higher self becomes nothing more than a completing element, as part of our soul complex, and we then progress forwards, in a new state that does not require us to reincarnate in short bursts of lives, but instead take longer continuous streams of life in energetic form. The true question remains, as to what we even do, as universal enlightened beings who no longer need the system of reincarnation. Our higher self certainly finds interest in progressing us up to the point of realization. If our soul is just a realizing fragment, it rises a thought as to the entire point of life if our higher self is already within an enlightened state. The answer to this question lies within the very reason for why our universe exists at all. We are all manifestations of unconditional love, floating within the most ecstatic fields of energy as God. Yet here we are within a universe, going through the motions of daily life, as an incomplete soul. The irony of the situation is perfectly encapsulated within the premise that all we have to do is completely realize what we are doing, in order to wake up from our level of reality. We are finding unconditional love, in trillions of ways, for no other reason than our Creator is creating other creators, because that is what creators do. Our higher self simply exists because such a mechanism allows us to perform this function with greater clarity and more coherence than if a single soul was to try and track its way through the sea of consciousness without any guidance at all. It could just be that we are fascinated by the thousands of lives creating beauty and chaos in the most profoundly resonating corner of the universe. Every single answer, short of the ultimate truth, is by far more beautiful and much more personally satisfying to the humble universal inhabitant. Some of us were born to live, while others were born to die. We progress through the galaxies as glowing lights within the universe, interacting with each other in hopes of one day remembering who we are. We will achieve our enlightenment in the most fascinating and unusual way, retraceable and completely accountable for when the new universal cycle begins once again. Even enlightened as we may be, the power of the universe still draws us in and captures our imagination for another spiritual journey. The universe is indeed the home of the incomplete soul. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell button as to be notified as soon as we upload new content. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. We will answer all questions and elaborate further on any aspect of this video. Also, let us know in the comments if this new knowledge of your higher self will affect your daily life in any way or not. Hit us up in the comments. We look forward to hearing from you. Love and light, beautiful soul.